1, 2, 3.
Now this New York lineup was able to hold off the Boston Uprising once again with a 3-1 victory to kick off the regular season.
시작이 좋은 것 같은데요. 첫 단추가 잘 끼워진 것 같아요. 한국에서 많이 쓰는 말인데 이게 첫 번째 단추가 잘못 끼워지면은 삐뚤어지게 끼워지잖아요, 전부 다. 이제 잘 끼워지면은 나머지도 올바르게 계속 좋은 결과가 있다는 거죠.
Here comes Pine. Gets one, gets two. Looking for a bit more, gets another one. Are you kidding me? Big Boss Pine is on the scene. This guy is unstoppable.
일리우스에서 두 번 다 나왔는데 두 번 다 세계 최고의 맥크리 에임을 보여줬다고 생각해요. 앞으로도 그럴 거라고 생각해서 믿고 있습니다.
So an opportunity for Houston coming in. Oh, did I say opportunity? That's before Sibilby started lighting up his kill feed. He hasn't even used his pulse pod yet. Another kill on the Muma.
미도를 플레이할 땐 맵에는 이제 파인 선수가 확실히 이제 강한 힘을 발휘하는데 테이스 할 때는 반대로 또 SBB가 강한 힘을 발휘하니까 주고받고.
아, 형 근데 트레이서하고 미도를 못하잖아요.
테이스랑 미도밖에 못한다고?
알았어요.
이거 원챔 새끼가 기다려봐.
The boss is in, ladies and gentlemen. Pine subbing in for Saviobi here. And I have a request, bare hands. I know you're out there, I know you're watching, I know you're listening. I want this man in a pinstripe suit, a bowler hat, and I want 20s swing music next time it comes out to the stage. He's the boss man, and he's in here, of course, to play on that control map, Matt.
Yeah, and Mono's going to come in for Janus as well, so it's a little bit of a flip of what we've seen from this NYXL team in the past. We've seen Janus come in on control. This time Mono comes in for Janus. And it'll be Oasis, the map, coming up next. So no changes on the side of the Valiant. They'll run Silk Thread out again. It's really the only one we've seen from them so far throughout the season, right? Whether it's Silk Thread or Agility's in. I think NYXL makes these changes, potentially, Mitch. You know, you get Pine in the game, you could have a good counter to Pharah play if the Valiant decide to run Pharah, and you keep Libero in who can run the Pharah and Genji.
Because we haven't seen them on this map yet, right? We normally just see them on Ilios where maybe the Pharah is not as desperately designed.
Yeah, and also I think on this map as well, there's a lot of in Oasis in general, there's a lot of close angles where I think Ilios, Tracer is obviously much better. We see a lot of times on Oasis. You can see on this point, they run the Orisa and the Roadhog, and they try and just use the Junkrat a little bit more. So maybe we see Saviobi not play here on Oasis. I know more often. This will be the first time we get a chance to look at New York on this map.
Third map in our 4-map set. 2-0 in favor of the NYXL now. It is now or never, by the way, where Los Angeles must pick up another map. They need to do it here to give themselves a fighting chance in this series. Otherwise, it'll be not the performance that we're looking for, suffice to say. So again, we're going to be in just a moment again. Might see Pine on that Widowmaker to start off with, which is kind of a ballsy move on this map. It's kind of hard to get real good sightlines as Widow on this map, I figured, Matt.
Yeah, it'd be very interesting, especially with no Pharah on the other side if he decides to run the Widow here, but it's Pine's world we're just living in, right?
Yeah, you know it.
2, 1.
Okay, it looks like we're going to see the Widow. Oh, no, okay, McCree at the start. You're going to see Libero play Junkrat here, so it'll be Junkrat McCree, the combination of DPS heroes that comes out for NYXL. Mono will play the Orisa, and Mecca will play the Roadhog.
And this is what I actually wanted to see, by the way, from the Dallas Fuel. Instead of running the Tracer for effect, I wanted him to be playing at McCree, because otherwise he's flanking on his own now. Pine can sort of play a little bit on his own. He can freelance a bit, but he can also play around the main bulk of his team. Bait's down early. And again, Pine's just warming up here a little bit, looking for some of these opportunities. You can see Mecco is never too far away. And with that first pick, another missed flashbangs, but again, Pine is putting a lot of pressure on, making them respect. Kiss that ring, soon is down. Oh, Kareem, are you kidding me? Have a bit of respect yourself. Pine was more than happy to go for that one.
And is there a little bit of an intimidation factor that comes in, right? Because the Valiant know that Pine is coming in. They're down 0-2. And then what, the first 2 kills of the game, he deletes soon.
I want him coming in like Stone Cold Steve Austin, mate, like 5 years
play
ago.
the music.
I want people hanging over the chairs, like someone screaming, oh my God, like right next to the crowd mic. I want thunder and lightning.
You may as well. I mean, the guy comes in and just puts on a show in these control maps. He's been so great on the McCree. It makes it so difficult now to run this dive composition because you get close. You have Pine there playing McCree, and you have Libero there playing the Junkrat, just ready to
Pine
destroy it.
He doesn't have to go too far, Matt. He's close to a health pack. He might need an Abbott Arcs there to protect him. There you go. He doesn't need to play in traffic. And the Los Angeles Valiant have made very little progress so far. Oh,
So that time, the Valiant decide they don't want to kind of jump back Pine on the McCree with their divers. They want to go maybe after Libero and some of the supports. And with the way Junkrat is right now, he just throws one mine that soon takes him out. Same thing with Silk Thread.
What's different between this map and Horizon, where we saw the Valiant do a good job of pressuring the McCree on NYXL?
It's just they can play over here in this close quarter area, and they have the Roadhog in this composition with that Junkrat. Just a lot of heroes. Oh.
That's the
Before he
combo.
even gets there. I mean,
that's the old ball and chain, ladies and gentlemen. No, I'm not referring to your wife, Matt.
But you have the hook, the halt, and then the Discord and Libero potentially putting down damage on the Junkrat.
And again, oh, that one blocked.
They get the Orisa barrier down, the Winston barrier down before they even the hook comes through. So you have both support ult here for NY. Deadeye. Maybe we see Pine go for some kind of Deadeye off the jump pad, right? It would just kind of fit with his style. As you see the hook come in here from Meko, putting down some damage onto the mech hero of Envy. Has a whole hog. It was Silk Thread actually who kills Pine. Libero uses that Rip Tire, he gets the D-Mech, then takes Envy out.
Jonak now coming in, a lot of teammates that need a bit of healing. Meko and Libero are down. Unko's done some serious work. 3 kills in the fight for Unko. He finally drops. But he did so much, and again, living up to the name of the Valiant, but it was just him against pretty much the entirety of the NYXL. Pine, Deadeye doesn't connect, the bubble is thrown in the way. Good presence of mind there by Fate to drop the bubble on top of the McCree. Now the Gunslinger's going to get pushed up against the wall, but he's not done yet. Tumbleweed rolled past, and Pine's got a bit of room to breathe. Kareev gets way too close here. Thinks about challenging with a blaster, and Pine gets taken down. The old 1-2 punch. And Kareev finally gets a little bit of that cathartic revenge. But LA are in control, Matt, right as the bell tolls.
Got scary there for the Valiant. Pine was able to take out Silk Thread before he had a chance to use his Dragon Blade. They had Valkyrie up, did NYXL. They're just not able to win that fight. Now the Valiant come in with some nice ults to use here. You have Unko with the Transcendence, Jonak with the Transcendence on the other side for NYXL, but you have this Dragon Blade. Maybe you can force out Transcendence from Jonak a little bit early, then go to work with this Blade.
Man, the Excelsior are really working hard to try and flank around as far as they realize that's the strongest part of the map, by the way. They need to be here to make use of that Orisa shield. Also because it's hard to dive in without diving into like a halt or like getting caught up by Junkrat traps. It's this really overpowered spot on this map, I'll be honest with you.
Well, and then if the Valiant decide to dive that position that NY is set up in, they throw down the Supercharger. You have Libero there with a Rip Tire. You'll put down so much damage. They catch Pine out, they're able to jump him.
Nice, it takes 2 players, a lot of resources dedicated to getting rid of Pine, but it does the job, and the gunslinging Maverick is now put to bed. Be back for another few seconds, and that seems to have given pause for thought for the New York Excelsior here. They're contesting, they had to stand on the point to use their shield properly, and now the Riptide is going to come through. Libero looking to find Silk Thread up the top here. Transcendence coming out, Silk Thread now going to time it. Another good time, Dragon Blade, but he gets halted back. The Orisa making it impossible for him to access those targets in the back line, and Silk Thread is going to have to content himself with a bit of damage until Pine comes in and shuts him down.
It all falls apart at the beginning. I believe you actually saw Libero take out Envy, and then soon went to go use a Pulse Bomb, and then just died. Didn't know whether to his own Pulse Bomb, or he could have got hit by one of the cars out there. And NYXL able to use their Transcendence off of that to push on through to the point. They would take our first round of control.
Feels like the Valiant took a long time to really start to figure out this hold of that NYXL, using that particular side room. And it's interesting how New York sort of identify the most well-fortified place on the map to be used with an Orisa. They obviously make it very hard to try and enter close quarters. There's a Junkrat present. There's also the flashbang from Pine, who's actually not playing in those close quarters, but trying to bait people into them, and then moves out around in towards the open, playing close to a health pack. So it gives himself some degree of self-sufficiency.
Yeah, because McCree doesn't have a ton to escape, right?
Hey,
he goes out a little bit too far. The roll, I mean, yeah, you're kind of dead at that point regardless. Coming into the next point, do we see Libero potentially play the Pharah? Looks like we're going to still see him run out here on the Junkrat. It'll be the same exact composition that comes out from NYXL.
So you don't necessarily need to do that. Obviously, you're playing here with the Orisa, and they're probably going to try and hole up in, again, a certain point of the map and just turn it into their home base. We got the big boss in there. They're all playing poker.
Well, it's the same kind of setup, because you have that staircase there on like the last point where you can just enter right onto the control point. You can kind of play around the Orisa barrier and just bait these teams to dive on in. And that's exactly what happens. The Valiant dive on in. Pine is able to take out Soon at the beginning of this. See if he can land the shot on Kareev. You see he just kind of lurks around. He gets Silk Thread really low, not able to finish him. Fate and Envy, though, dive on in for the Valiant. They pick up some kills. Pine will take out Kareev here. So you do see it is NYXL who actually has taken the point here. See if the Valiant can fight back. It'll be Silk Thread reflecting it right back in Pine's face.
Again, going at a player disadvantage up against the NYXL early is tough because you lack the players to properly deal with that threat of Pine. Good patience from the LA Valiant. Identifying that the first target definitely needs to be Pine, or at least get that high ground control, and then you advance from there. They knew that NYXL couldn't really hide or pull the wool over their eyes because they had to play around that Orisa barrier in the corner.
And NY's comp is not mobile at all, right? You have Orisa and Roadhog, Junkrat and McCree. It's like, where do they sit up? Do they try and just get back to that corner again? You see Mono throws out
down early.
Orisa's shield. Yep, they get him up top. He's trying to work around for a flank up top. Arc will get him back up, but still, it's a very difficult comp to make work here for New York. Maybe they try and take the high ground. It looks like that's where they're moving right now.
Soon down to Libero there, but it's a response. The Pulse Bomb was left. There's a bit of a parting gift. Definitely the definition of Pyrrhic victory there, but it's enough for Soon for the time being here. I'm sure we'll see some Mercy Reses in just a moment as Kareem's going to go on with the Valkyrie and never gets de-shooted out. Silk Thread. Dragonblade thinking about it. Whole Hog in his face. Doesn't go for the reflect. In fact, didn't have it on cooldown. Going to wait out the Hog and his little tantrum before deciding to come in, but it might not be necessary to see the blade here. Silk Thread, he tried to escape from the Riptide, but instead he walked straight on into it there, and now with the Valkyrie Farak, here's a chance for the Excelsior to break back into this fight. Envy tries to leave a little bit of a gift up on high, gets a chance to resuit and go again.
The Valiant still getting a ton of great progress here, 65% and counting. Libero though with the Junkrat mine, he'll take out Soon. Send an Envy of high into the sky, he will eventually fall. Be NYXL taking the point back here. Silk Thread comes on in, just contested for a little bit longer. At that point, needs to reset B with his teammates while trying to stay alive on the point, get some more percentage towards it. Coming into the next fight, Jonak actually holds on to his Transcendence, and that's huge. So you still have the Transcendence to block the effects of potentially that Dragon Blade coming on through.
The Valiant need to try and draw it out. So Soon is probably going to be told here, try and, force this. But look where Jonak's standing. It's so hard for a Tracer to go here. He's got concussive mines, McCree flashbangs. They want to force this trance out of Jonak, but it's going to be almost impossible. If they lose a player to it, the fight's already over anyway. But you get my point.
Yeah, I mean, they lose Unko. That is a huge loss there. But they know that Soon's trying to come behind enemy lines, but he has to be so careful like you're talking about. Junkrat traps, the grenades, the mines. Just in that close hallway, it's really easy for Libero to just get any type of spam fire down there, just, random grenades.
And this is even harder for a Tracer than it would otherwise be, because you have to stay out of McCree's flashbang range, but now you have to stay out of Orisa Holt range, because that's going to mean you're guaranteed to get hooked in Unco. You don't want to pick a fight with a big boss. And Pine puts his foot down, but Libero was found elsewhere, so it's actually a DPS down for the Excelsior. That means that Pine needs to go for something big here. Why? Silk Thread up on high. Maybe was hoping to get the timing on a deflect, but they've lost their Genji now. It's all on Soon to really get the damage done. He works it out, finds Pine. Now Mecha go for the whole hog. Envy's not going to get away from here. Pinned up against the wall. It's like a game of darts gone all wrong. Mecha just about deals with Soon, and this could be the last fight.
Yeah, and Soon is on the point there with Kareev, but there's nothing they can do to actually flip the point back in their favor because Mono just throws down an Orisa shield and just stands behind it in the corner. Just trying to come in, chase him down. Arc now with a Valkyrie in the next fight, 98% and counting. The Valiant need to get towards the point. They get a touch. Silk Thread with the blade. Can he be the difference?
Mecha taking a lot of damage, but he just heals through it. All he takes a breather. Libero, though, falls early. That's the important pick. There's going to be a Dragon Blade here in this fight. Fate also has a Primal Rage. And the Valiant know they need to win this fight and the next one, so maybe don't use them all, but they've got no choice now with the Valkyrie being committed. It's Arc to get 2 Resurrects up, and now Meko, again, looking for a target. Doesn't fancy Envy. Defense Matrix going to make it hard to connect. Now, again, trying to look for the Diva, get that D-suit. And Meko now being the target of scrutiny himself. His teammates are falling left, right, and center. Soon gets resurrected back. Meko going down there. This could be it. In overtime, LA bring it back, and now they have both of their support ultimates. NYXL have none.
It's huge for the LA Valiant. They have both support ults plus the Dragon Blade and Pulse Bomb coming into the next fight. A huge advantage, 88% and counting. NYXL, you may get a Transcendence. You're gonna have a Deadeye, you're gonna have a Supercharger, and a Riptire here.
They've got to watch out.
Need to get a touch, though. It's really on Meko to get a touch as he goes over to Diva.
This Deadeye could take them apart, though. Not a Transcendence or a Valkyrie could save the Valiant from Pine if he gets his ultimate off properly. Libero's Riptire is down. That's the first step in the right direction. Second needs to be this kill. Silk Thread found Jonak. It's a whitewash. That's going to be the Valiant to clean on up here. Overtime is going to tick down. And now we have ourselves a round. Pine to fall, gets jumped into. Envy going to be looking for a chance to make it back. Has a self-destruct if he needs to deny space. But that's it. We're an even game now, and finally the Valiant spread their wings.
It's a huge final push by the Valiant to flip the point in their favor and hold on to those ultimates. I believe Fate used the Primal Rage. She was able to do a lot of work with it, and then at that point, I imagine in their comms, they said, no, hey, we feel really strong about having the point in here. No, Arc doesn't have Valkyrie. No, Jonak did not have Transcendence. Didn't need to use either of those other ultimates to take the point back, and they end up being huge at the end, right? You have your Transcendence, you have the Valkyrie, you have the Dragon Blade to use to take the point back. Do we see any changes from either of these teams, Mitch, though, coming into the final point? At least it looks like on the NYXL side, potentially, you know, Arc probably just gives the speed boost and then goes over to Mercy. So you're going to see out of New York. So same comp out of New York, same exact answer for the Valiant.
Chance here for LA to keep themselves in this series and get themselves back on the board. Both of them being, of course, entirely crucial at this stage. Bolt used, just pulls Envy in, and you can see Unko again wants to start off this fight at a man advantage for his team. So looking for an early pick with those orbs of destruction, taking a bit of fire from Jonak, who throws the Discord orb over towards him as well. And most of the fight has been sort of committed to now to the backside of the point. You see Silk Thread looking in, and Unko again just spraying, keeping those Discord and Harmony orbs up.
Yeah, he has full control of the high ground, because he knows that NYXL are going to play behind this Orisa shield with the Roadhog down on the point, but as soon as it goes over to the Valiant, it is NYXL answering back in a big way, cleaning house the members of the Valiant. It'll be Silk Thread, the only one alive. He will eventually fall. Now it goes back to New York.
Okay, so the Valiant don't want to play a long, drawn-out fight here at all. NYXL's damage output is going to stay consistently high over time, whereas a lot of LA Valiant's damage potential comes with the burst of the dive. So if you see a fight or LA don't sort of get an early pick or don't manage to get their dive properly into the back line, they're going to struggle.
And with the way that I know Mercy, she can just res that. It's almost like 2 picks they need, right, to get into the back line. You have to really put down a ton of damage.
All or nothing.
What NY can do right now is they can just play around, you know, mono on the point with the Orisa shield, just use the halt and the hook, and then have some of the other players play up top. It'll be soon connected with the pulse bomb on it. Jonak, Arc will use Valk, bring him right back into the fight. Pine takes out Face. Now, that's going to force out Transcendence there. That's a huge play, because now it's going to be both support ults invested here by the Valiant. Kareev will fall after using his Valkyrie, so not a great fight here for the Valiant.
Yeah, you can see the respect now coming out from NYXL, committing their own support ultimates to these fights, realizing that if they play at a man disadvantage, they're likely to lose out, given that these teams are so close pound for pound, at least on this particular map. Crucially, Dragon Blade's going to be there for Silk Thread. Unco going down early is less than ideal, and this is NYXL can push forward here. They're not running as Aya or a Reinhardt comp, so you can't really control the chokes, but a hook here into a ball. Oh, that's nasty! Fake gets pulled out of his bubble.
And they're using the Orisa supercharger here as well. They actually push on a little bit forward, and with that damage boost, with the Roadhog hook, and then, you know, the gunshot combo, we're able to take out Unco, take out Fate. Oh man, just stalls out the point here. They built up a solid, you know, 30 extra % there, actually pushing up, getting those 2 kills.
Yeah. Again, they can hunt for kills when they've got a guaranteed pick in the ball. And chain combo soon! His Achilles heel was actually his heel. Pine caught it and cleaned him up. That was when the Valiant had to go. It's got to be a resurrect onto him, surely, but Kareev doesn't have the Valkyrie. He didn't have the chance to go back in. Pine with his second of the fight. Both DPS players are down. The McCree is going nutty. Now Meko with the hook in. Does get the D-shoot. It's going to be a self-destruct, though. Perhaps a bit of a debate here as Pine waits for that to expire. Now pressuring forward. Pulse bomb dropped at his feet. He needs to avoid that one, and Unco trying to stay on, but no, he doesn't have a stun. Pine does. It was a close one, but the Valiant just let things slip crucially here. Rezzers have to come in now. Kareev gets cut down. He had his Valkyrie. Very close. It would have been 20% more. He didn't have the Mercy ult when he needed it there, but that was it. The NYXL recovered beautifully. What a round from them. Pushing forward to get kills, ensuring early picks on those fights. Roadhog, Orisa. It's stunning to see them execute this so effectively. The Valiant, again, they're still trying to play this dive comp, and they're not be able to stand up to the heat here. Dallas are looking at NYXL and that map saying, I wish we had that.
Yeah, and that push up forward by Mono and Meko using the supercharger, the halt and hook combo, getting those 2 picks, one on Unco, one on a Fate, may have won him the game.
Ah, there we go. Pine all over it. We expect no less from this man, and he delivers time and time again. One more map to go for the Valiant to save at least some face. I feel you, bro. Let's see if they can recover.
The Overwatch League is brought